Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. One of the most talked about performances of the season is the one that Mike Faist is giving as Connor Murphy in the juggernaut musical Dear Evan Hansen. And now he's been nominated for a Tony Award, and I caught up with him here at the legendary Sardi's just days before Tony's big night. What is this whole time like for you? Is it all surreal? I mean, how did a kid who did construction work for his parents wind up Tony nominated?
I don't know, because once it's all over, I'll go back to construction work. I know that's the truth,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is all surreal. I was actually just came from a brunch with all the guys who are in my category. So Brandon, Andrew, and Gavin,
Yeah.
and all of us were just literally just on the block having brunch and hanging out and just basically just praising each other and having a great time. So it really is all surreal. It really is. I've looked up to all those guys, and I know these guys and their performances, and I just know how talented they are, and it's an honor. It's ridiculous.
Well, they look up to you too.
I don't know.
Oh, yes, they do.
Well, they're all taller than me, so they actually look down.
You're pretty tall.
I am pretty tall, but they're very tall.
Oh, they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gavin is, right?
Yeah,
Andrew
he's
is?
huge. Yeah.
Okay.
Huge.
You're giving one of the most complex and talked about performances. I love what you've done with Connor Murphy.
Thank you.
And so is everybody else. You're being rewarded for all of your work. What's it like living in the world of Dear Evan Hansen?
It's a whirlwind. I mean, for the most part, it's been the same cast for 3 years, and growing and refining and creating these characters. That's been everything that I really wanted to do artistically, was to create a character that was complex and interesting, and someone I could grow with, and someone I could really feel like I could sink my teeth into. And that's really all I really wanted out of it, and it's challenged me. And I felt like every iteration that we did with the show, I felt like I was falling on my face every time. And to get this thing that happened, it's all too much. But I mean, doing this show, it's exactly what I wanted to do. It's exactly what I wanted to do with my theater career, is create new work that I thought that was complex and interesting and relevant and could reach people and create conversations. How
do you view Connor? Because he's changed over the course of the workshops and the first readings, right?
Yeah. There's this. It was hard because he had changed quite a bit, and when they made the change to the more complex version of who he is today, I had a really hard time going with that adjustment, because I had been playing one thing for the first year and a half.
Yeah.
And so when the change kind of happened, I thought they were going to fire me after DC. I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And
really?
Luckily, I was fortunate enough that they didn't. And so I put on my, my working gloves and pulled up my, bootstraps and just kind of got to work. And I started doing research, and first thing I did was try and find people who had attempted to commit suicide. I took to the internet. And there's only one website that actually has, that voices from the perspective of people who have attempted to commit suicide, failed, survived, and want to tell their story. And the website's called livethroughthis.org.
Yeah.
It's started by this woman named Desiree Stage, and I started looking through it, and it's these people, it's just profile interviews. And I reached out to her, and I got into contact with her, and I just started asking her a bunch of questions, and I started reading these people's stories, and I realized that I have a lot more in common with these people and people like Connor or people like Evan than I thought I was separated.
Yeah.
But then when I was reading these stories, I realized that I have a lot more in common with them than I could ever really imagine. And it humanized Connor in a way for me. I was thinking I had to be this thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to be this thing. I just had to bring myself to it. And that's the biggest challenge with what we do. How can we find those pieces of ourselves, and bring those to the stage that, for everyone to see. And I think as far as who Connor is, he's a bit of an enigma within our show, but I mean, the reality is that he's exactly like Evan. He's exactly like Alana. He's exactly like Jared. He's exactly like all the other characters on stage. It's this person who can't allow anyone to see who he is, because the minute he does that, he loses everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so natural at what you do on stage. You make it seem so effortless, and I know it's not.
That's practice.
Yeah. But I guess that's what every actor strives for, is
Yeah.
that naturalness. And
Oh, well, that's very kind. Thank you. Yeah.
I want to go back to the beginning. Growing up, where did your love for performing begin? Was it MGM movies?
It was. Yeah. I mean, I always played pretend by myself, growing up in Ohio, and I had a lot of like frenetic energy as a kid, and so my parents would kind of TV babysit me as well. I kind of put it, like, shut up, stand there, watch that thing. And so like, I'd watch old MGM films of like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, and I was watching these guys and I knew I had to be exactly like them. I wanted to be exactly like Gene Kelly. So I forced my parents to get me into dance class, started doing children's theater and community theater, and it was just constantly playing pretend. That's what I wanted to do, yeah.
Tap dancing right away?
I was dancing, like, I think my first word was probably music or something like that. I just wanted to do theater. I just wanted to do, like, characters. I was obsessed with, like, Indiana Jones. I was obsessed with, like, Star Wars. I just, like, wanted to play pretend. That's all I ever wanted to do.
All right, so now I see Indiana Jones, the musical, or Star
Totally.
Wars, the musical,
Yeah, why
starring
not?
you, right?
Yeah,
Cool,
why
right?
not? Let's
Tap
make it
dancing?
happen. Yeah, sure. Of
Totally.
course.
I was obsessed with all the MGM musicals too growing up.
Yeah.
I thought Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire,
course.
Ann Miller, all those incredible people were just
Some
so.
of these people might
a
be
lot,
here.
a lot of them are
Sure,
on the wall
I'm
somewhere
sure,
up here.
Yeah.
But then you went to AMDA, but you didn't stay at AMDA in New York, did you?
I did 2 semesters,
Yeah.
and then I ended up dropping out, and I just started, trying to survive. I was selling, commissioning off-Broadway, tickets right outside TKTS. I was working the line, just, I'm going to see this Broadway show. It was like the 39 Steps at the time was playing, and that's what I did. And I was just auditioning, trying to do anything I could really get my hands on. And my first, like, professional job was this dinner theater in Dayton, Ohio. And we lived in the back of a McDonald's parking lot. And I was getting paid like $150, $200 a week, and I was on food stamps, and I was a working actor, I was doing it.
Did you live in your car?
No, I mean they had like housing units like literally set up in the back of the McDonald's parking lot.
Because when I read that, I was like, did he live in a car?
Basically, it was like a very strange time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is you talked about auditioning. You were scared to audition for a while, right?
Yeah, I probably didn't really. In fact, that was my.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I only did a handful of auditions, and that one audition was in the very beginning stages, but that didn't happen until maybe 7 months till after I dropped out of school.
Because we have a lot of young actors here at Broadway World.
Right.
And everybody says, I've got talent, but I'm scared to audition, or I hate auditioning.
Yeah.
What got you over it? Or what's your secret?
I had a friend who basically dragged me kicking and screaming to that audition. Yeah. I was really fortunate, that I had people to kind of like push me. And it really is hard, but you have to just book that first thing. And then once you book that first thing, you feel worthy enough to do it. You say like, oh, well, I can do that again. I can clock's wrong or right, broken clock's wrong twice, or right twice a day. So, history can repeat itself, I think, it's like just the mentality of like, all right, I've done this before. I was able to book it. I can book something else, and it was just a matter of just persistence and keep going. And I don't know, just keep throwing spaghetti at the wall, as it is.
And hope it sticks.
Yeah, hopefully. My mom might call it, shit at the wall, but I guess we're not allowed to say that.
Sure you can.
All right, yeah, shit at the wall.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, how cool is it? I mean, the Music Box Theater, you walk to the theater every day.
It's a beautiful theater.
I mean, you open that stage door. I mean, what does it all mean to me? I think it's got to be the coolest thing to be co-starring on Broadway.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, our cast is just so wonderful, and I'm really fortunate that it's a true ensemble piece, and like there's every single character is so specific and so complex in their own way, and it's a whirlwind, I mean, it really is just everything you could really ever ask for. Doing a show that is reaching people and is important, but without saying we're important. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing. I mean, it's everything you could ever ask for.
It's like a rock show over there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody loves your show. I mean, why do you think audiences resonate so much? Of all different young people, older people, everybody connects to Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, they do. I think we're living in an era where we're more connected than we ever have been before. And yet, because of that, we're the most disconnected than we ever have been. And so the show is saying something that I think people are having a hard time conveying in their day-to-day lives with family members and friends. And so they come and see the show, and they're seeing all the different characters up there. They're seeing the parents, and they're seeing the kids, and they're saying, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
They're recognizing themselves in the people on stage.
Was there a teacher or a mentor growing up or sometime throughout your career that really got you, that set you on your path?
There were so many. I mean, William Ivy Long said he was at the Lortel, he got like a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Lortel Awards, and he said, if you examine a life, it's basically just a construct of the people who helped create it. And then he said, 75% of the people in this room got me to where I am today. And that's the reality of this situation. I mean, I had teachers and high school teachers and community theater directors and children's theater directors and even, writers here in New York that would take me under their wing and, just encourage me. Casting directors who would, email me after I was doing a play and it was not going well, but they saw it and they were like, you're on the right track, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And it's about really formulating your own community in that sense. And I think the community here, as hard as it is extremely hard. It's a cutthroat industry for sure, but it is a community nonetheless. Yeah. And, we do want the best for one another. Yeah.
What are you enjoying the most about award season? Is it crazy?
It is crazy. But it's teetering off, It's starting to wind down, and it is getting more enjoyable. When it first was launching, you'd look at your calendar and you would just see everything that was lined up, and you'd immediately just have this daunting feeling of anxiousness. But it's starting to wind down and become more enjoyable. I'm really enjoying hanging out with the guys in my category because they're fantastic, and I've always looked up to them and have watched them over the years. And Gavin's from Ohio, I'm from Ohio. Millie was the second Broadway show I ever saw. And, that's what I'm really enjoying. And we're talking about, should we wear fake teeth for the ceremony? So when they pan to us and we're or something like that.
Yeah.
We're having way too much fun with it. We're not taking ourselves too seriously, and that's great. And we're really enjoying each other.
Well, I wish we could have been a fly on the wall at that lunch, because I'm sure you've got a lot of great things planned for Tony night. Do you have an outfit yet?
I have something.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll let you guys. You'll see it all. Yeah.
Okay. My final question is, if you could sum up the best part of the experience of being a part of Dear Evan Hansen, what is it for you, Mike?
For me, the best part about doing the show and growing with it over the years, I've been able to find out more about who I am through playing my role. And that's huge. I mean, that's the most you could ever really ask for in terms of growing in your craft and growing as a person. That's what's happened, and that's what continues to happen 8 shows a week. And I just continue to find more and more and more about who I am and what I'm capable of through Connor Murphy.
Even when the dark is crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in as you reach up.